everyone, welcome back to the Only Way We Lose Father and Daughter podcast with myself, Ree,
and myself, Mim, the father of Rhea,
co-writers and creators of crime psychological thriller based on true events, The Only Way We Knew.
There you go. Right, this subject that we're going to be talking about today, is, I'm just going to get straight to the point, is when we was away last time, and I can remember sitting down in the evening and we was in this apartment and your mum turned around and she said to me, "Oh my God, there's riots going on in London." And I was like, "Riots? What's going on, riots?" And your mum started to break it down to me about how this person had gone into and stabbed some kids and whatever.
Yeah.
And it sparked off this uproar. And, you know, there was people behind the uproar that escalated into it coming out onto the streets, which initially was like a protest that turned into rioting that spread it up and down the UK.
Yeah.
So me listening to what was going on at the time, there was part of me where I was on holiday and I didn't want to
focus on it too much
because I didn't want it to burst my bubble. But you know, it's happening in the UK and you want to know what's going on. So obviously I've been watching it, this, that and the other. What did you think about it when you first heard about it?
So it's an interesting one because at that time, obviously, we were only seeing things on our phones. I think we were getting the tail end of everything that was going on. So initially we heard about the young boy, I believe he was 17, that stabbed the 3 young girls. Heard about that. We were like, oh my God, you know, what's going on? This is devastating. Yet again, something has happened like this. Then obviously hearing that there's riots and whatnot. So then looking further deep into it, you know, they bombed mosques. There was a lot of...
Never bombed it, but they
attacked
you get
what I mean. Yeah. Attacked mosques, set fire to the mosque, lots of bits and bobs going on, turning to rioting, looting, all of this kind of stuff. I remember seeing videos of like Croydon specifically, people boarding up their businesses, all armed officers, everything, and you're just like, what on earth is going on? So looking deeper into it, I learned that initially everyone thought that the boy that committed the crime that stabbed these 3 girls, because obviously he was 17 years old, they were unable to disclose his identity. But what everyone had gathered from what the media was putting out there is someone leaked or a source put out there that he was an immigrant, 17 years old, and that he was a Muslim. So obviously it has ignited and kick-started all of this hysteria against immigrants. You know what's going on in the country at the moment with immigrants, refugees, and then also against Muslims, Islam, so to speak. So there was all of that going on, hence why the mosque got set fire to, and I think it just brought to light a lot of white supremacists. You know, like we've spoken before, like, does racism still exist? I feel like this was a prime example of yes, it does still exist. The boy being 17 years old, I believe he was a few days away from turning 18. So the judge disclosed his identity. And it turns out that he wasn't an immigrant. His parents were, but he was born in Wales. And he wasn't a Muslim. He was in fact a Christian. So I feel like it's very interesting how things can get twisted and things can be lies. You know, a lot of what we read can be a lie. But yeah, I just think it was an excuse for Islamophobia, you know, and racism, to be honest. I remember you saying too, like, you know, racism exists within, but people are quiet about it. You know, they're not necessarily going to go out and act upon it, but amongst their community, their white community, so to speak, they are racist. And I think all it takes is for one person to come forward about this, bring it to the forefront, and it gives everyone else a bit of courage to also do the same. Hence why these riots were happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it was a poor excuse for racism. And I mean, like, there's been many incidents that have happened where white males have committed crimes of similar nature. No one riots. Black communities and, you know, other ethnic minority communities don't come together and riot against this or use it as an excuse. Why? I'm not sure. But for some reason, this whole immigrant, Muslim, him being a black male, all of a sudden, this barrage of white community have now wanted to kick up a stink about it. So I find it a poor excuse to just be racist, in my opinion. It's very sad what's happened. The boy is wrong for it regardless. But I feel like it opened a lot of windows for, like, just because one person of one colour, one ethnic background, one religion has done something, doesn't mean everybody else of that does that too. And I think the white community is so quick to jump on the stereotyping of that when something like this happens. But when it's the other way around, nothing really seems to happen within the community and society. So that's my opinion on it. Okay. What about you? What are your thoughts and feelings on it?
Me being inside, just watching what was going on, I listen and I watch and I look, and I don't just look at the riots. I look at the situation as one, how it is in London, how it's going to be, how it was, and racism. Was there racism in that? It's hard for me to say racism. How can I explain it?
It was racism.
Right. Look, see, this is going to be a hard one when I explain what I think, because only until I get to the end of what I'm going to say, that's the only way you're going to understand what I'm going to say. All right. So me looking at these and I see what's going on from Stockport to here, there, wherever. And, you can see there's pent up frustration. All right. You got to remember we're in England. Yeah. It's English. It's not a black country. It's not a Turkish country. It's not a Pakistani country. This is an English country. This is a white English country. This country belongs to the English people. End of. Everyone else is immigrants that come in that have to integrate into the English society. All right? Remember, don't start grading me until I get to the end. Okay? Please? All right? And this applies to everyone else. So when you start seeing all these people that are rioting and everything like this, that and the other, in my head, I feel like looking at what's been going on in the last 5-10 years, I look at them and I feel like they have a right.
Right.
They have a right. Okay, because take away the aspect of the 3 kids getting stabbed. That was a spark. Yeah? And for them to turn around and go, it was a Muslim. So, they end up attacking a mosque. It wasn't that long ago. There was that crazy white guy with the machete that chopped up the black kid. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I mean? But it wasn't like there was a big protest against black people. Yeah? The guy was mentally ill. You know that? Yeah?
Which one?
The guy that attacked the black kid.
Yes, the white guy,
so
yeah?
Why is it the society did not all protest against our social care system, about our mental health system? Why did they not go? Why are you not keeping an eye on these crazy men that are going up chopping up kids? Take away, he's a black kid. The problem was he was a psychotic bloke that was not being monitored as well. So the problem is not him, the nutter. The problem is the system looking after him. So the protesting should have been about all of us coming together, blacks, whites, pinks, blue, gay, straight, whatever, to turn around and go, what is going on with our social care system? What is going on? Because these people are being released and they're killing people.
Yeah.
There was one the other day where a black guy killed the 3 people. Did you see that? He was released, not monitored. We're saying he's got schizophrenia. Why is this man being left out into the public?
Yeah.
Yeah? So we've got to look at the root of the problem. The problem is the system that is not doing its job properly.
Yeah, because the system is, unless you inflict harm upon yourself or someone else, there's nothing we can do.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, we can offer you medication.
Yeah.
But we can't section you.
We can't section you, but the job is not being done properly because they haven't assessed him properly.
Yeah.
So when you hear after a while a doctor, psychologist, or a counsellor or a therapist turns around and says, "I writ down he's going to kill someone," he killed someone. So is the problem because he's black?
No.
Or is the problem the system?
Yeah, it's the system. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is.
So this is what I'm saying. Get to what I'm trying to talk to. Now coming back to England, this is it's a white country. Yeah, it is a white country. You go to other countries, you go to Italy, they're not going to say you can change our country. We're Italian. This is an Italian country.
Yeah.
We're Spanish. We're in a Spanish country.
Of
we're
course.
England. We're an English country, and we must respect it. We must integrate with it. Yeah. Yeah, we must learn it. What language are we speaking now? We're not speaking Turkish and going, no, we're in England, we're going to speak. We're speaking English. What are you thinking in?
Yeah, English.
English. All right. So what you're writing? English. So this is what we are. But when I watch them riots and I watch what the riots are about, I look at the people that are rioting and I feel like they've got a right. They have a right to riot. The way we look at it, we feel like they don't have a right because they believe in something that we do not agree with. Racism. Because we look at them like they're racist. But these guys, they're frustrated. They're frustrated and they don't want to put up with it no more.
Yes, but then target your frustration at the government, not at people.
I'm going to give you, right, you need to let me finish. So when you look at London, and London is a melting point of all cultures, all ethnicities, all people from all over the world that integrate, and they sort of get on, You know, like I explain it in different podcasts. You know, we go to an Indian restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Korean restaurant, Turkish restaurant, English restaurant, whatever, pie and mash, chicken and chips, whatever, fish and chips. We integrate. We love it all, yeah? People from outside London that come from deprived areas, look at London and go, what the fuck is going on in London? All the foreigners are in London, and these lot are making some serious fucking money. These lot are achieving. These lot are going places. London is a completely different place to the rest of the UK. And what London does, it sets itself apart from everything else that's going on in the UK. So when we look at places like Stockport, we're going to look at other places like all these other hidden places where the dominant white people, there's no jobs because all the jobs have come down to London, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool. There's no infrastructure in these places. No one wants to work in the schools because all the school work is in London. The policing is shit. There's no investment in these places. There's no future in these places. You go down the local high street, there's only a pound shop, a betting office and a pub, and only stupidness going on along this parade of shop. There's no niceness, and people are living in these environments and it's getting worse. and there's nothing going towards these communities for them to grow, but these are dominant white communities, and they start looking at London and other multicultural areas that not just just as well as London. There's Manchester, there's Birmingham. They go, these lot are getting all the money, these lot are getting all the advantages, these lot are getting all the perks, these lot are getting it all, and we're left behind, and they can't hear our voice. But they've got to look at, that's because the foreigners are doing it. The foreigners are getting all the perks. So me looking at these people, looking at where they are and where they come from, because there was no riots in London. It happened everywhere else in deprived white areas. I understand it. And I get it. I've got children that are living in Stockport. I'm English. I've got children living in Stockport. I can barely pay my rent. The house that I live in ain't worth fuck all. I can't live it and sell it and move somewhere else. Only until you're in that situation, you start to get it. And me, I've told you before, I look from all parties. Yeah, all parties. And I look at it in a real way. Why are they going to the streets? Well, for fun. Are they going to the streets for fun? You think they're going there and they're doing it? Let's go day out now. They're doing it because there's something internal burning. There's something burning. And it's built up frustration. The first sign of this was 10, 12 years ago when we left Brexit. That was the first sign that people were fed up with what was going on. And the fucking government never took them serious and invested into these places to say we're all equal here. So when I look at these people that are rioting, and I can see the frustration on their face, I get it. I understand it. But they shot themselves in their foot. Because there's a lack of education that was in them riots. Because it shouldn't have been a riot. It should have been a protest. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
And what the protest should have been was that we are not happy the way we are as a country. Yeah? Yeah, we're not happy with immigrants coming in. But that is not the immigrants' fault. Remember when I talk about the guy that stabbed the guy, the kid, and remember about the guy that stabbed the 3 children and all the rest of the psychotic fucking nutters that stabbed their loved ones and everything because they had a psychosis fucking dislodgement in their head. It's the system. The problem is not the immigrant. The problem is the system that allows the immigrant to come over. That's the problem. So when you've got these huge crowds of white guys that we all call racist now, and the reason why we call them racist is because they projected themselves in the wrong way. What they should have turned around and says, no, we're not against the foreigners here. Yeah, we don't like what's going on with the immigrants. Definitely we don't like. What we're against is the way the system is being run and controlled. And we're not being treated equally. Because all the money's being thrown into London and it isn't being dispersed evenly around. So what I'm trying to get to is when I see a banner and it says no blacks and no Asians, they need to get it right. Blacks and Asians have been here since 1930s. The guy that's got the banner is only 30 years old. He ain't got a fucking clue. The education, so when you ask these people, I've read it online. I've read it online. What did you read online? They took our jobs.
Yeah.
What did they take your job? Oh, the doctor. The Asian guy took your job. Brother, what you should be doing is calling the Asian guy to come and join you on that march. To say, bro, you're my Asian doctor who saved my fucking mum. Come and stay with me on this fucking march and let's change the system for all of us. I want you to be my doctor. I want you to be my dentist. I want you to be my local shop owner. I want you to be my next person here. I don't care if you're white or you're black or you're pink or you're blue. What I want is to be treated equally. So when I look at these white people that are there and they look and they've got an Asian Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, how do you think they must feel? When they look at the Mayor of London and you've got Sadiq Khan, how must they feel? When they turn around, they look at the head of the Home Secretary, what's her name? Priti Patel, whatever name, the whatever it is, the whatever. How must they feel? So when you turn around and say there's racism, yeah, there's racism, but it's been pulled out. You've made them racist. You've made them like that.
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because it hasn't been treated with equality. And then this whole thing of going, but there's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong with it. But remember what I just said to you. This is England. This belongs to the white people. And us, we must integrate. Yeah, if Rishi Sunak does a good job, it's great. If he does a good job, it's great. But they're not. They're not. And they don't treat people equally. And that's the difference. And that's why I understand the riots. Do I agree with the riots? No. See the government? Very, very clever. When they start protesting, they get worried. They're saying, the government's turning around going, please throw a brick. That's what the government is saying. Do you know that? Did you know that?
No.
The government is saying, please throw the brick. Because the moment you throw that brick, you're not a protester no more. You're a rioter. And as soon as you're a rioter, we can mark your cards and make you look like you're no good. And that's why them protests were done wrong. And that Tommy Robinson, remember when I told you about Tommy Robinson in my previous podcast? He talks sense, but he talks shit. And that is where he spoke shit, and he should have been in control to say, no, mate, I want all our people to come together. So I want the black community to come here. I want the Indian community to come here. I want the Pakistani community, the Chinese, the Sri Lankan, the hard-working people that have integrated into our white culture to come and join us on this mark so we can go against the system that will not allow psychotic fuckers like that fucking so-called Muslim guy they said, that wasn't. And it doesn't matter if he's Muslim or not. It was part of a system that failed that killed 3 kids. There was a white guy that had a machete that killed a black kid. It doesn't matter if he's a black kid and it doesn't matter if he's a white guy. It was a system that failed that allowed the death to happen. So when I sit there and I say they should have come together as a whole to sit there, yeah, and say we're here against the system to protect our people as a whole. And that is the reason why I say to you, the marches, I understand why they did it. It's a whole ingredients of it's a congestion of frustration, and they can't get their words spoken. No one's listening to them. And the moment they threw that brick, they become rioters. Problem is, you have idiots there. Like I said, you know, at the end of the day, any true protester that was there would have looked at his fellow protester that had thrown the brick and gone, stop it! Don't throw the brick! They're going to shut us down. We got to do this diplomatically, and we're going to march. And this is why everyone should have come together and went against the system, which is the government, to say we need more investment in our communities, not just London. One more last thing. The government love it when they say they're racist. Because government, I explain it again in my previous podcasts. And you remember when I said it's going to erupt? It was close. Remember I said it in my previous podcast? It's going to explode. Something is going to happen. Something is boiling. Yeah? What I'm trying to explain to you is that the government itself love ununified people. They're racist. All of a sudden now we have an agenda out there. Look at the way we're speaking about it right now. Look how you turned around and you said, oh no, they're racist, they're this, they're that. Look at the way I just broke it down. Are they racist? Yeah,
I still agree with what I still believe what I've said.
They're racist, but do you understand why they're racist?
Yeah, from how you've explained it, yeah. And
what I'm telling you is a fact. It doesn't matter if that guy was... It sparked it off.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have an argument, or I'll have an argument with your mum, and the tea was too hot, and it sparked off this row that's gone into something else, and now I'm telling her about herself. Because it could be a pent-up frustration.
Yeah.
So, the problem for this to get solved is the fucking government need to be turned over. Keir Starmer, a waste of fucking time. Yeah, us, we've changed our government. We've gone to Keir Starmer. I know I'm changing the subject. He's no fucking good. There needs to be a new party out there, which I believe should be the People's Party. Yeah, and it don't matter what fucking colour you are, it's for the people. That's what I feel it is. These people are not for the people. Alright? So, coming back to the riots, because they're not a protest no more. You know? Look at when they done the Palestine, the Palestine protest. Do you know why that's still a protest? Do you know why they're still doing it? Because they don't do no...
Because peaceful.
It's peaceful. But there's a problem with peacefulness.
Doesn't make enough noise.
Don't change.
Yeah.
Doesn't change. That's the problem. So the government are in a win-win situation. And that's why I turn around and I say to Tommy Robinson, if he's actually listening to this or he watches this, is today he's a smart guy who has got a lot of following, that I believe if he does it the right way, he will tenfold his following and he will achieve what he wants to achieve. Is the security of this country to be, no, we do not want to lose our British ways. We don't want to lose them. And whoever comes into the we want them to be British. We don't want them to be English. We want them to be British. We're British. And that's the reality of it. So, I know I've gone into one. I've got a bit loud there.
No, it's all right. I understand everything that you're saying.
You understand what I mean? So, you got to have a look at it. You can't just look at it as what we just saw on that night in Cyprus. All this, but there's something behind this. The other thing that upset me was the lack of intelligence on them marches, on them riots. It's pretty embarrassing being a white guy watching them. To sit there and watch hooligans that thought they were at a football fucking match down at Millwall back in 1980 would be pretty embarrassing as an English guy to watch with any common sense, to go, what the hell are they doing? They're sitting there with cans of beer, laughing and giggling like it's a day out and not taking it serious in a protest way, but taking it out like we're going out with the lads, bring a packet down, mate, we're going to do a bit of gear and fight me at West Ham.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it. And I just felt like...
That's why I said I feel like it's an excuse.
And I found it sad. And that is where, if Tommy Robinson is who he thinks he is, and he can control a lot of these, can spark off a lot of shit, get your facts right before you accuse anyone of anything. And then when you do a protest right. Because if he does it right, a lot of people will join him. Because he does talk a lot of sense. He talks too much shit with it. Like now, he had the problem here. He fucks off to Cyprus. You know, he hides. So you can't do that. If you're representing, you got to be at the forefront of the reputation, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. So unification is the key to any movement, and to overpower any hurdle is unification. And that is it.
Yeah.
Alright? Nothing else. If you was on that march, then you had, check this out, white guys embracing black guys. Black guys embracing white guys. White guys embracing gay guys. Straight guys. Muslim guys. Palestinian guys. Fucking Israeli guys. These guys. Young, small, children. Pensions going out the window now. Old people, young people, teachers, doctors, policemen, all embracing it, going on that march. How powerful would that protest would have been? That would have sent shivers through the world.
Yeah.
And the government would have to look at themselves and go, what the fuck is going on here?
I hear you.
Alright? So unification is the key to move forward. Alright? So, how was that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet.
Keep that short and sweet.
But I do feel like it was powerful, us giving our little...
Yeah, I think it's important. Listen, I will only tell you what I think. I don't read anyone else's shit or anything like that. This is my own opinion. I love and I care for every person out there. I've said it in previous podcasts. Tell your fellow man you love him. You're not gonna fuck him. You're gonna love him. They fall on the floor, you pick them up. Pink, black, blue, white, whatever. You pick them up. If it's your mum, please pick my mum up if she drops on the floor. And this is what I try to explain. I know Tommy Robinson, if he walked down the street and an old black lady fall over, he'd pick him up because he'd want someone to pick his mum up. It just happens, this frustration. Yeah, and I get it. I do get it. All right. I'm not going to tell you why I get it, because it'll open up another kettle of worms. All right, but it is to do with Cyprus. All right.
All right.
Alright, finish them off, tell them we're done.
So guys, if you've enjoyed this little conversation, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, let us know your thoughts and feelings. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, please do hit that subscribe button. We hope you've enjoyed our little conversation, and we hope to see you next time.
Peace out and unification. Come together and you'll fight in the army. Love, peace and out.